You've no doubt seen this Plandemic video that's been going around Facebook, Twitter, social media in general. YouTube's taken it down, and people just keep posting it. And so you can even go to plandemicmovie.com and see the video. They've hosted it themselves now there. Well, the video focuses on Judy Mikovic, and who the hell knew who she was? I certainly didn't know who she was up until I saw this movie. But it's a very well-produced video. Have no idea who is behind the production, but they did a really slick job. I mean, I say slick, it's a well-produced video, way more budgeted than this thing that I'm going to do right now. But I'm going to try to make it short, so I'm just going to kind of run through a couple of claims in this video. And I'm going to play an initial clip right now and just talk a little bit about the claims that are made in this clip. So here we go.
There was absolutely nothing wrong.
And so what did they charge you with?
Nothing.
But you were in jail.
I was held in jail with no charges. I was called a fugitive from justice.
So right there is two claims, if you didn't catch them, that there were no charges and that she was held in jail with no charges. So let's keep going. Now look at this next scene. You got the helicopter overhead, and there's the helicopter and the SWAT team.
No warrant. Literally drugged me out of the house.
No
Our neighbors
warrant.
are looking at
There's a
what's
guy-
going on here.
There's a guy with a battering ram getting ready to knock her door down.
You know, they searched my house without a warrant, literally terrorized my husband for 5 days. They said, if you don't find the notebooks, if you don't find the material, which was not in my possession but planted in my house.
As if you took intellectual property from the laboratory.
So you saw the SWAT team with the battering ram and their weapons drawn going into her house, and she makes the claim that she was drug out and her neighbors saw her being drug out against her will, and then she was taken to jail with no charges. There's one last claim here. I'm going to play this one last clip.
From the laboratory. And I could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I didn't. Heads of our entire HHS colluded and destroyed my reputation, and the Department of Justice and the FBI sat on it and kept that case under seal, which means you can't say there's a case or your lawyers are held in contempt of court. So you can't even get a lawyer to defend you.
Can't even get a lawyer to defend you. Now, what kind of an American would you be if you didn't stand up for a woman that couldn't even get a lawyer to defend her? I thought this was the United States of America. Anyway, so let's just examine these things one at a time. I found the news story from 2011 that talked about, you know, her being arrested and charged and whatever. So the first claim that she was drug out of her house, and you know they produced it with that helicopter overhead and all that. Let's see how this went down according to this story.
To researcher Judy Mikovic turned herself into university police yesterday after complaints were filed that she stole computer items and notebooks from a lab at the University of Nevada, Reno.
University police. Judy turned herself into university police. So you have the image in the video of her, this SWAT team knocking the freaking door down and the helicopter flying over, but she claimed that this story from 2011 says that she turned herself in. Okay, so the next thing is, you know, what did they charge you with? Nothing? She said there were no charges filed, right? So let's take a look at this one.
Dina, what'd you find out? Well, according to these court documents, the state has filed 2 complaints against Judy Mikovits. Count 1, possession of stolen property. Count 2, unlawfully taking computer data and other equipment, both listed as felonies. Judy...
Both listed as felonies. So the 2 felonies that were brought against her were the 2 charges that kind of prove that this whole, they didn't charge me with anything. So anyway, moving on. The next thing would be that you can't even get a lawyer. So let's see what we have here. This from the same story.
Because she would never think in her entire life she'd be subject to the process. From our perspective, nobody...
Scott Freeman representing Judy Mikovits.
Took those materials with any type of criminal intent. So that's what we're investigating.
Did you hear that? Let's back that up because I interrupted it. What he said about these notebooks.
Her entire life she'd be subject to the process. From our perspective, nobody took those materials with any type of criminal intent. So that's what we're investigating.
Nobody took those materials with any criminal intent. So Judy claims that they planted the notebooks in her house, but her own lawyer isn't denying that she took them. What he's saying is nobody took them with any criminal intent. 2 very different things. So what kind of lawyer would this be that would allow this innocent woman to sit in jail with these charges if they were fake? Well, let's take a look at this next clip, shall we?
And after turning herself in Monday, Mikovits was taken into custody by the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, but she was released the same day. We will continue to follow this investigation and bring you the very latest. Bill?
She was released the same day. Now, if you're a conspiratorial type person, this clip from 2011 could have been manufactured in anticipation that we would have this pandemic ready by 2020 and that lawyer is just an actor. There's all kinds of crazy scenarios that you could dream up. But what you have to do is you have to take the evidence, look at it and say, what makes more sense? This slickly produced video of this woman making all sorts of claims, or what I've just kind of shown you right here from a story 9 years ago. If you fell for the Plandemic video, at least take the time to consider just this little bit of doubt that should be cast upon the credibility of this woman, Miss Judy Mikovits.